Now I, like many F1 fans, love a good looking livery, and a full on rebrand gets people even more excited. For the upcoming year, we're lucky that there's two teams who are completely changing the look of their cars, Alpine and Aston Martin. For me though, it's the Aston Martin one that's the most intriguing, especially as they've lost their main sponsor BWT. No matter if you loved it or hated it, their pink livery when they were known as Force India and Racing Point was iconic, and it will definitely be looked back on in years to come. But now they've gone British Racing Green, they've also got a new title sponsor called Cognizant, who have been slapped onto the side pod of their new car as seen in this teaser. Now I don't know about you, but I had no idea who they were until I did some research for this video, and I was intrigued by what they do and the services they provide. A brand like this entering F1 is very important, and I'll explain why they could be a huge asset to both the sport as a whole and the Silverstone-based team financially and behind the scenes. So let's start by giving an overview on the brand and its history. The company wasn't always known as Cognizant. It was founded as an in-house technology unit of the huge American data insights company, the Dun & Bradstreet Corporation, in 1994, and it was spun off as an independent firm in 1996 by founders Kumar Mahadeva, who left the company in 2003, and Francisco de Souza, who was the CEO up until April 2019. The company initially focused on web development as it was a dot-com boom at the time, as well as YK2 projects, which if you guys didn't know, it refers to the Millennium Bug, the time in history where some people thought as soon as the year 2000 arrived, our computers wouldn't cope. Think planes falling out the sky, power grids going down, etc. Now there's actually a word called cognizant in English, which means having knowledge or awareness, so it makes sense why the business was named after this, as they provided services that increased companies' awareness to the outside world through the use of the internet. As the years passed, the company grew by taking on maintenance projects that larger IT service providers didn't want, as well as expanding across the IT landscape into business process outsourcing, which basically means they were a third party that were brought in to perform tasks to help their clients operate successfully. Because of this, Cognizant grew massively during the 2000s, and it was in Fortune magazine's 100 fastest growing companies for 10 years in a row from 2003 to 2012. They were making serious money and acquiring new businesses left, right and centre. To put into perspective how big they are, they have acquired over 70 companies in a range of business sectors since 2002, ranging from healthcare, consultancy, marketing and finance. Their largest acquisition was IT service provider Trizetto Corp for $2.7 billion. Yes, you heard that right, billions. In fact, their revenue in 2019 was $16.8 billion, and they are ranked 194 on the Fortune 500 list, a collection of the top 500 largest US corporations by revenue. That means they're larger than companies like Kellogg's, Colgate-Palmolive, eBay. They're even bigger than Liberty Media, who own F1. All these acquisitions has made Cognizant a global force, and you're probably not surprised to hear they employ over 280,000 employees across 37 countries, including their headquarters in the USA, and they're continually expanding into new territories across the globe. So you might be wondering what they mainly do now, seeing as they've got all these companies at their disposal, whilst times have definitely moved on since their inception. Well, from what I've seen, they're continuing to follow the same strategy. Cognizant say they are one of the world's leading professional companies, transforming their clients' business, operating and technology models for the digital era. To put that into English, they help their clients improve their digital side of their business to future-proof them and keep them relevant. Nowadays they primarily focus on the Internet of Things, which if you don't know is simply the concept of connecting any device to the internet, whilst they also help with cloud storage, software engineering and artificial intelligence. These all play a key role in changing the way companies operate in the modern world. At this point I presume you're thinking, thanks for the lecture about a boring IT company, Alex, but why is all this information important? Well, it's all about the types of sponsors that are now starting to enter F1, as well as how they're benefiting the sport financially. In the past, a lot of the sponsor income was brought in via tobacco brands such as Marlboro and BAT. In fact, they're beginning to make another resurgence right now by advertising their tobacco-free products with Ferrari and McLaren, but I'll save that topic for another video. Whilst F1 teams in general have often been associated with automotive-related brands like Petronas, Shell, and many others that offer fuels and components that can help with performance gains on the track. Now I know tech companies have been in F1 before, but there's been a shift over the last few years with more tech-based firms that offer business-to-business services partnering with teams and helping in the collection and utilisation of data. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise and Mercedes are a good example of this. And even F1 themselves use Amazon Web Services to provide information during races such as the tyre performance graphic, car performance scores and much more, although most fans aren't exactly impressed by the insights on offer. Don't even get me started on their list of the fastest drivers of all time. Aston Martin are taking this to a new level by announcing a company like Cognizant joining the team. They're not just a run-of-the-mill sponsor, they're a title partner who are fully integrating themselves into all the operational aspects of the team, as well as playing a major role in Aston's road car division. As they're such a big company with infinite IT experience in numerous business sectors, they have the knowledge and financial backing to help the team modernise and overhaul its digital transformation from the outset. Modern F1 is space age when compared to only 15 to 20 years ago, and in a sport where technology and innovation take centre stage, teams now realise that maximising how much you can learn using data can lead to performance gains on track that you used to gain from physical products. Aston Martin can use Cognizant's expertise to help make strategic decisions trackside using different simulations and predictions based on real-time and past performance data. Something Sebastian Vettel will certainly appreciate after being on the receiving end of plenty of strategy blunders and botched pit stops during his time with Ferrari. It can also make a massive difference off-track in the simulator and in the wind tunnel, something that is now an integral part of each team's week trying out new car components and setups due to the limited amount of testing at their disposal. Even more so with the new cost-cutting measures coming into effect this season. Even things not related to performance such as fan engagement can be improved, with Cognizant planning on helping the team build an immersive experience for fans. The team's admins on social media are brilliant and they're always interacting with their followers, so I imagine their digital presence will get even bigger once Cognizant come on board. This isn't the first time Cognizant have done something similar to this in the world of sport. Since 2017 they've been the official digital partner of the English Football Association and the FA Cup, whilst they were brought in to modernise their digital engagement programme, specifically within grassroots level to get more people involved in the sport and improve each participant's user experience on digital platforms. From Cognizant's perspective, entering F1 with Aston Martin is a no-brainer. If you're watching this video, I presume you don't know who they are, so partnering with an iconic manufacturer that is synonymous around the world and is on a bit of a hype train by officially entering the world's most premier motorsport series has definitely got your attention, so their strategy has worked. For Aston Martin to pull this off is a major win, and I give a lot of credit to Lawrence Stroll. They've most likely got more money from the deal than they did from BWT, whilst they've got insight from one of the biggest digital solutions companies in the world. And don't forget Aston are in the process of building a brand new factory from the ground up which will be crammed full of the latest technology. When looking at the bigger picture in the way the world is evolving, I can see many companies like Cognizant partnering with other F1 teams in the near future. It makes sense for them participating in the most technologically advanced sport on earth, which highlights their products and services being an integral part to a team operating, and it helps that the results are physically shown on track. It's a dream marketing exercise. It's also a win-win for F1, as it's not often global powerhouses on this scale come into the sport, whilst it paves the way for other forward-thinking companies to do the same. Well, I hope you now know who Cognizant are and how they could impact Aston Martin's success in F1 over the next few seasons, hopefully by moving them further up the grid. It's great to see new sponsors entering the sport, which can only be a positive thing going forward, especially with the new regulations looking to increase the competitiveness across the grid. If there's any other sponsors you want me to take a look at, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. My Twitter link is down below if you want to hear from me more regularly. Anyway guys, thanks again and I'll see you in the next one.
It's gonna be a long night, baby, but it's alright. Let me out like all tight, show you what the splash like. 'Cause we up, we on